So we are currently recording, and I have a waiting room that's part of my screen that I'll keep an eye on. So let me welcome everybody and say a couple things about what we're going to do today. If you use Zoom, you can use Zoom either as a guest, which you all are today, or you can use Zoom as a host. That's the role I'm using. And I can assign anybody else as a host. So just because you start as a host doesn't mean that that's the only person that can control everything. One of the things about Zoom is the defaults are usually pretty good. However, there's a whole bunch of ways you can fine tune it or change the defaults around. And if you're a Windows user, you may have noticed that there's all kinds of different ways in Windows you can get to the same thing. You can go to the search bar and get to one of the settings. You can go to the notifications way on the right-hand side. Who is JSTP? Anybody know?
John Keenan.
Okay, I'll let him in. John?
See the top of your head, John.
John?
Oh,
Tilt your monitor down a little. We're looking at your forehead. There you go.
I just found out where I had put it, so I'm not too used to using it again yet.
Okay. I started giving everybody some basic information. I'm going to continue. So what I'm going to do today is go through some of the settings with particular attention to those that you can do during the meeting, right? However, you can also set settings by just bringing up your desktop application and going to it, and I'll show you some of those. And if you log on to the website, zoom.ua, you can make all kinds of serious settings. So keep in mind there's various ways to do the same thing, and there's different places that you might have to go. So what I'd like to do is start up at the upper left-hand corner. And if you take a look there, you're going to see a circle. Let me see. I've got two monitors here.
Needing information.
Okay. Do you see, if you move your cursor up there, you'll see a circle, a green shield, and then a red recording?
Yeah.
You see that? Okay.
Yeah.
Everybody see that? All right, please. Okay.
Hey, Dennis.
Yeah.
Mine just keeps on going away after a few seconds. Is there any way to keep that hold
No.
on that?
You just, I'm unaware of any. Mine just stays there.
Yeah, mine just keeps going away. All right.
Renee, you have a lot of personal problems.
Well,
Okay, Sheila is just joining us. Do you see the three little, let's see. Sheila, can you hear us?
Probably muted.
Could be. I can't, I can mute her. I don't know if I can unmute. There she comes up. Hi, Sheila, can you hear us?
doesn't look like it.
No, she's not muted. Sheila, can you hear us?
I can now.
Okay,
I
good.
had to push the join audio button.
Okay. I'm going through the different things you can do on this screen. So we're starting in the upper left-hand corner. Everybody see that circle, the green shield, and the recording?
Yeah.
Okay, you got to move your cursor up there if it's not all visible. So move your cursor up to the left-hand corner. And if you click the little shield, it says meeting information. You see that?
Yep.
Everybody click it?
Mhm.
Okay,
Okay.
I did.
Okay. Upper,
Now I-
upper left-hand corner, way in the corner on the left-hand side.
All I see is you.
Who's having problems, Sheila?
Yes, all I see is you. I just see you with the Hawaiian background.
Okay, go up to the upper right-hand side and you'll see something that says gallery view. Click that. Upper right-hand side, almost in the corner. Says
The
gallery
three
view.
dots.
Pardon?
Oh, I see 3 dots.
Not your, okay, not your picture, your screen. Don't click on your image.
Yeah, I don't have that either. I just got full screen, into full screen or not.
I
Yeah,
have
look-
extensions. I see extensions. Application launcher for Google Drive.
Okay. I'm not sure what you're looking at. I can't see. You shouldn't have some of those. You're looking at Google. That's the wrong thing.
Okay, it's the upper right-hand corner.
Yeah, I think click something. Does it say full screen on the upper right hand, toward the right hand corner?
Uh,
I think what you have is you have a Google screen up and then you have Zoom on top of it. And you're looking at pieces of both.
okay, I've got that little, let me see what that is.
Okay.
No, that just makes you smaller.
Yeah.
Okay. I see you and I see me up in the corner, in the right-hand corner.
Yeah, you should see everybody. Okay.
Oh, let me check participants. Oh, now okay. Now I just see you and me. And the participants.
Okay. Yeah, Sheila, I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to continue or we're going to run out of
Okay.
time. Okay. Anyway, if you folks look at that, that's some basic information about the Zoom meeting. There's also a link there and a copy of link. So if you want to copy the link and send it to somebody, here's where you could find it. The second thing, the green shield, okay? If you click that, does everybody click it?
Yeah.
You got settings.
Okay, this is the first way you can get to your settings screen. See all the settings there on the left? General, video, audio, things like that.
Right.
Okay, so if you have to make any changes during the meeting, here's a way you can do it. For example, there's a virtual background, right? You can change your audio and video settings. There's some general settings, all right? So I'm not going to go through all of these, but this is anytime you're in a meeting and you want to make a change, you can click here. Looks like Sue came up with the ocean.
Yeah, how can I get there?
Okay, well, we'll talk about that in just a second. If you look in the middle there, it says virtual background on the settings.
Settings.
No, go up to the green shield, click that. You'll get a pop-up that says settings.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Mhm. Got it.
Everyone see it?
Yeah, I don't have any choices. Mine just says none.
Yours says none for set.
No. For settings, I have background and filters. I click on background and filters.
Don't click. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I don't know where you are for background and filters.
on the
Exit.
screen that I got when I clicked on the green, the little
Okay.
green. Screen. Well,
Okay, all right. What I'm going to do is, since some of you have some problems, I'm going to share my screen. Let me tell you what's going to happen here. I'm going to share my screen, but some of your screen will show up and most of mine screen will show up.
By the way, Dennis,
Yeah.
under general, in some of those tabs that are there, there's one that always show meeting controls, which mine was automatically checked off.
Because
and
you're
I
not in
clicked that
charge.
on, and
You're
that,
not-
that fixed that problem I was having.
Yeah.
So you might look at that, Sheila, if that's connected on yours.
Okay.
Oh,
All right. Does everyone see my screen? My screen in the upper left-hand corner should be Renee. I'm right next to him. The next screen over shows a Dorothy. Does everyone see that on your computer?
You are screen sharing. You are viewing Dennis's screen.
Did you see that? Okay. I'm going up to this green shield. Can you see my cursor move?
Yep.
Yep.
yeah.
Okay. So for those of you that can't click it, I'm clicking it. This is the settings menu. Now, why it doesn't work on your computer, I don't know. I have a computer next to me and it works fine. So I know a guest can see this. But you can look at this stuff. This is the general, right? And you can make settings like start Zoom if you start Windows. There's some reaction skin tones down here. So if you want to give a thumbs up while somebody's talking, you can choose which color thumbs up you want, right? I can go to the video and make modifications. I can change some audio settings. This is a screen share. This is the chat window. We talked about virtual backgrounds. If I went to my virtual backgrounds, here's my virtual backgrounds. All right. Everyone see this little plus sign here?
Yeah.
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 If you go to your virtual background and all you have is none, then you haven't uploaded any images. The system does not come with pre-images, right? Go to Google and search for free Zoom backgrounds and choose a couple, bring them to your computer. When you click the plus button, you can add an image or a video. What's behind me right now is a little video that just loops. Right? So you can find on Google either images or videos and add them. You can add your own pictures or your own videos, but there's certain restrictions on the size, okay? There's a recording button, there's a profile button, right? Here's profile, notice it has my picture. Everyone see it?
yes.
Yeah.
Okay, if I say edit my profile, let's see if it works. Okay, that's not coming up. Let me do something different for a second. Can everyone see the screen now?
Mhm.
Okay. What I did was I went back to the original screen that you will get when you first start the application. Okay? Up in this upper right-hand corner is a little picture of me. And down below is a little gear. Everyone see those two?
Yeah.
You can bring this up at any time. You're outside of a meeting, you bring it up, and if you click the gear, you get all the settings again. So you can change these settings without being in a meeting. Okay? If you go back up and you click the image and you come down here where it says My Profile, if you click My Profile, okay, you are actually on zoom.us. And over here, it has the image I loaded. So if you want to change your profile picture, you come up here and either upload it or change it or delete it, whatever you want to do. Okay? But we are not on your computer now. We are not in the meeting. We are at the Zoom profile. Okay? So I'm actually online. I'm going to get offline here for a second. Okay? And I'm back to the meeting. I'm just checking to see if anybody else came on board. Well, nobody seems to. Okay. One thing I'll warn you, see over here this little X sign? Everyone see it on the corner?
Yes.
Okay. Some of these screens come up with an X to get out of them. However, this is a dangerous one. If you click this X, it kills the whole Zoom session. Right? So what you want to do if you want to, for example, close this down, you click this little down arrow and it closes it. Okay? I'm going to blow that back up again. All right? So we've taken a look at these guys up here. On the upper left is, because I'm recording, it gives me some things about stopping or pausing recording. Now, I'm going to go on the lower left-hand side. If you look here, there's a microphone and there's a video. All right? Everybody should have this. Everybody see that?
Yes. I see
Okay.
it.
If you click the mute button, the microphone, it will mute it. Click it again, it'll turn it on. That makes sense?
Yep.
Okay. As the host, I can mute everybody simultaneously if you start making too much noise, or I can mute individual people. If you are muted, you may be able to unmute yourself temporarily if you hold down the space bar. Now this is controlled by the host. If I set the meeting up so that you can unmute yourself with the space bar, it works. If I don't set it up that way, then obviously it will not work. All right. Next to the mute button, there's a little up arrow. If I click the up arrow, I have a selection of things I can do. For example, over here in the headset, I'm wearing a special headset right now. All right. It's called a Compilot. But I also can go to the system and use the system speaker and microphone, which I choose not to use. So if you have more than one setup, you can choose which one you want. So this is what I chose for my microphone. I have three choices on a speaker. So if you're having problems talking, or if you're having problems hearing people, and you're in the middle of a meeting, click that little up arrow next to the speaker symbol and make a change here if you can. Does that make sense? There's also a test here. So you can click the test. Okay. And you can hear a ringtone if it's working. Can you hear the ringtone?
No.
Okay. Ringtone's in my speaker, which is mounted in my ears. Sorry you can't hear that. Okay. Next to it is the video. And if you click the up arrow on video, you can select a camera. Zoom works with two separate cameras. So you can have both cameras on simultaneously and alternate between each camera if you want, right? Here's another way you can choose the virtual background. Remember we said you could do it in settings? You can also do it here. And you can change your video settings, but you're back to the main settings screen again. Remember I said there's a lot of ways to get here. You can get here up at the upper left. You can get here clicking the video. You can click it, clicking the up arrow by the speaker. Right? Lots of ways to do the same exact thing. Okay. as I'm going to come along the bottom here, and I'm going to show you security.
Can I ask you a question?
Absolutely, go ahead.
On the mute button, you said as a host, you can mute everyone. And
Yep.
you have to do it before you get online, or
No, I can do it during the meeting.
you can do it anytime?
Yeah.
As a host. And what do you hit when you're a host?
Beats me, I'll get there sooner or later. I think it's under the participants. We'll get there in a minute. Okay, the security that a host can use, you probably will not do any of this, but when I get into the host meeting, which would be the second meeting, I'll go through all of these with hosts, okay? If you go to the participants, you can see everybody over here. And if you look down here, here's the mute all button. Everyone see it? You see it? Okay. Now, when we are in the middle of a meeting, a gift from Zoom. Oh, we removed the 40-minute time limit. That's great. I've never seen a gift from Zoom.
Yeah, I
Everyone,
just that.
I'm gonna say I love it. Okay, that's neat. Okay, in the middle of a meeting, there's several different ways to communicate. Right? One is the way we're doing it right now. You speak and people can hear you. Anybody can speak. All right. There's two other ways you can communicate. One is if you go to the participant screen, you can see everybody up here. Okay. For example, I can mute John if I wish. All right.
Don't tell Cynthia.
Okay. However, if you look down here, see these things at the bottom? All right. Those will show up here. For example, if I raised a question and I say, is everybody happy? You could click yes, it'll show up, or you could click no. Okay. So if you folks, now here's the tricky part. And please watch this very carefully. Okay. That's not going to work. What I'm going to do for a moment, I'm going to stop sharing because I want you to play with us. Okay. So I've just stopped sharing. All right. On the bottom of everybody, you should have your taskbar for the Zoom meeting. If you don't see it, lower your cursor arrow down there. Can everyone see the taskbar?
Yes.
Okay. Click the click the participants button. Okay. Does everybody see on the right-hand side now all the participants listed? I can't see your screen. Okay. What I'd like you to do, okay, is everybody go down and click the green yes button. Okay. Carlene is not actually participating. That's my double screen, so I see what you're seeing. Right, so everybody saw that. Okay. Down on the right-hand corner is a clear all. Click that. Can you click it? Okay.
Right-hand corner.
Okay, sorry, it's on my screen, not yours. You see the raise hand?
Yeah.
Click that.
No, I don't see that.
Lower at the bottom, next to the yes button, there's a blue raise hand.
Oh, yeah,
See, it just came up?
yeah.
Okay, so this is another way. Typically the raised hand, okay, and if you look at the main screen, see all the little raised hands come up?
Yeah.
Okay, what this is a way to, for example, you might be muted or you're in the middle of a meeting and you have a question. Rather than just interrupt the speaker, you do a raised hand. They know you have a question or a comment, and they will address you individually. For example, last week I was on a Zoom meeting with 85 people. And if everybody tried to talk simultaneously, it'd been crazy. So if we had a comment to make, we do a raised hand and we were selected individually. Make sense to everybody? Okay.
It makes sense to keep them quiet.
Yeah, you got to mute everybody.
Now,
And
mine shows that Larry's microphone is off.
yes, and what can happen, I can go to Larry and I can send Larry a message. Did you get the message, Larry?
I got it.
Okay. I sent Larry a message saying, please unmute. Okay, so that's one of the controls I have. Okay. If you then go down to the little arrow at the top on the same line as participants, you can close the screen or you can leave it up, your choice. But what I'd like you to do now is to move over at the bottom to the next button that says chat. Everyone see the chat button? At the bottom toolbar, it's next to the participants.
Yeah, yeah,
Everyone see it?
Mhm.
Click it.
click it, okay.
Yep. On the right-hand side now, on the same thing we saw with the participants, you should have a chat box come up. Everyone see the chat box?
Mhm.
Yes, but there's nothing in it.
That's fine, we haven't started chat yet. Okay, if you go down to the bottom, it says to everyone. You see that?
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay. Dorothy, would you type a little message? Anything you like, hello, not a real long one. Okay, and send the message.
Send it?
Yeah.
Or do I hit to send it? Share screens, everyone, file, invite, mute, chat, hi, all you guys, send. Where's the send? I don't see send.
Hit the carriage return, see if that sends it.
Carriage return.
Yep, everybody see Dorothy's message show up?
Oh, I see. Oh, so they don't see it down below. You see it up underneath the chat place.
You only see the message if you're on the chat. Okay? Now,
So did she, to send it, did she hit enter on her computer?
yeah, she has to hit the enter button
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
or the carriage return. Okay, same button. Okay.
Oh,
Now, if you go down to the bottom where it says to everyone and you click that little down arrow, do you see everybody's name come up?
Mhm.
Yep.
Okay. Down arrow where in the chat box.
Down arrow in the chat box.
Yeah, it says to everyone, and just after the word everyone is a little tiny down arrow.
I had to click everyone to get it to come up.
Okay, it's just switching back and forth.
Yeah.
Okay. If you notice, there's a check mark by everyone, but you can check an individual and send them a unique message. So here's another way to communicate. You can send the message to everybody. You can send the message just to one particular person. Make sense?
Mhm.
I have a bunch of blank looks.
It makes sense.
Well,
Okay. So anyway, as we're talking, we're seeing that we have a variety of ways to communicate with people. Okay. You can speak, you can listen, you can go to the participant screen and raise your hand, do some things. You can go to the chat, send messages to everybody, right? In the large meetings I've been in, the speaker usually does not monitor the chat box, but they ask somebody else to monitor it. So if chats come up, they can kind of talk offline and not interrupt the speaker. All right? So if you're actually going to be a host sometime, you might want to consider that. All right. Let's go back down to the bottom. Do you see something called reactions?
Yeah,
Okay, click
Yeah.
click reactions.
Mm, mm.
Okay. Now you should have two hands there. And if you click either one, it will show up on the main screen by your name in the upper left-hand corner. See it?
No, where's reactions?
Oh, I see. Yeah, right on top on your own screen
On your own screen.
or your picture.
Oh,
Yeah, you click it, it goes on and off on your own screen. So if you're hearing something with a speaker and you really like it, you can give a thumbs up.
Okay,
No,
well, so it doesn't last very long, and mine left.
Well, I guess you weren't too impressed by my speaking.
I mean, it went. How come it? I clicked it. Oh, wait a minute. Let's see. It's there, but then it went away without
Yeah,
me
it does
doing
go
anything.
away.
Yeah, it should come up and you can click it again.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a limited thing. All right. So you're giving a brief reaction to something. Okay. Now, I'm going to show you something that does not show up on your screen. It's called a breakout room. If you're in a large meeting, you may or may not encounter this. A breakout room is kind of a subset of this Zoom meeting. Meaning we have a number of people in the Zoom meeting. I can say I want to make separate little meetings with everybody. Okay, so I'm going to take some people and put them in one room and some people in another room. So you can have a sub meeting, a meeting with just a couple of people instead of everybody at the same time. Right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a couple of you in a breakout room, try and talk, and you'll be able to talk to each other, but people outside of the room won't be able to hear you. Then I'm going to close the breakout room and you'll get a message saying that the breakout rooms are closing. I just want to give you a taste of what a breakout room is, right? You will have a chance when I set it up to either enter the room or not enter the room. Make sense to everybody? So on the breakout rooms here, I'm going to set up two rooms, and some of you are going to go in one of the rooms, and some of you are going in the other room. All right?
Oh.
Let me show you something. I'm going to share my screen for a moment. See the little thing that just popped up, create breakout rooms?
yes.
Everyone? Okay. So I'm creating two breakout rooms and 7 participants are going to go in one or the other of the rooms. Now I'm going to say create the rooms. Right? And here's how it's going to go. Right? So John and Larry are going in one room and 4 people are going in the other room. Right? I'm going to take Sue and I'm going to move her to breakout room 2.
hey,
Thank you, I guess.
Okay? Now I'm going to open all the rooms and watch what happens. Did some of you folks get moved?
No?
I have a thing
Do
that
we have
says
to
I have to
join?
click join. Host is inviting you to join a breakout room, and I have to click the join, I guess.
Yeah, hit the join. Okay, so you see how we have a subgroup of just a few people in the breakout room?
Okay, we're back.
Okay.
Keep having to go back into them.
Well, I can put just Dorothy in one room. We get rid of her.
Where did you find that breakout room? How do you get that started?
Okay.
What button is that?
You can't do it. All right.
Oh, okay.
But I'll show you something just a moment. I'm going to share my screen. If you look at the upper top, okay, there's some special things that I can do as the host. And at the bottom, I have a breakout room here.
Oh, okay.
That shows up only for the host.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to stop. Well, as a host, I can also come over here and do an annotate, which I'll go through when I talk about the host, but I can draw different things.
Oh,
Dennis, is there any way that a person, after we leave this meeting, is there any way that we can get on Zoom to play with these buttons and so
Yep,
without being,
Yep. Stop for a sec, okay?
yeah.
Just a moment. Okay. I'm going to, can you see my screen now? At the bottom of my screen, I have two Zoom things. One is a Zoom meeting, and the other here is the Zoom when you start.
Mhm.
All right. So if I came up here, this particular thing would say start a meeting. So by yourself, start Zoom, click start a meeting. You're in a meeting all by yourself. You're the host. You can play with all the buttons.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. We've been running for 47 minutes because I opened up the meeting a little bit before everybody got here, so I could look at the list of people who are coming. I will answer any questions. I think I've covered most of the stuff. The only thing left actually is on the lower right-hand side, it says end. That's the way you individually can leave a meeting. If I click it, it cuts off the meeting for everybody and terminates the meeting. Okay, makes sense?
Mhm.
Anybody have any questions?
Yeah, where's that beach?
Where's the beach? About a half a mile from here.
It's
All right.
not Coos Bay, I know that.
Any other serious questions?
When
So you
when I downloaded this, I went over to install the Zoom. I installed it with using Google, Gmail. And
I don't know what
I
that
think I'm
means.
going to reinstall this thing using the regular download program instead, because I think the settings, like what you showed me today, is all the settings are right there and it's easier.
Okay. Yeah. You can always go to the Zoom website, zoom.us. I think it's zoom.us.
Mhm.
Yeah. Anyway, just do a search for Zoom, go to the Zoom website, download the free version.
Yeah.
Now, a couple of things. If you go to Zoom and you go to the support tab at the upper taskbar, you will find that they have dozens and dozens of videos and text files. Right? If you go to Google and you do a search for some particular Zoom process, you want to know how to use the chat, and you say, Zoom chat in your search box, you'll come up with a whole bunch of stuff. If you go to YouTube and you type in Zoom, you will get about 1 million people that have recorded themselves trying to explain different Zoom things. I want to caution you only on two things. One, Zoom changes periodically. So if you get an old video, you might have some ways of doing something that have changed, okay? Second, Zoom comes in several different flavors. We are currently using the free one, right? There's several levels of paid. Unfortunately, what I found is when I looked at different Zoom tutorials, sometimes I got on a paid feature explaining it. And it didn't say, by the way, this is only a paid feature. So I went through the whole video, and then I went back to Zoom trying to find the damn thing. And I couldn't find it. And it finally turned out that I was looking for a paid feature on the free system. So be a little cautious if you watch some videos or if you read some text. Most of them are on the free system. Every once in a while, especially if you're on the Zoom site, you might hit a video that actually applies only if you're a paid member. Okay, we're now 51 minutes by my clock.
Yeah,
I have
I've
a
got something
question.
else to add. I was looking at Kim Commando, and it said on there, you ought to update your Zoom. Well, Zoom didn't automatically update on my machine. So I had to go to the profile picture and then click on that. And then if you drop down, it showed update.
Okay, here's the profile.
And then if you drop down, you'll see update. Check for updates right there in,
Everyone see that?
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So Sheila, you might want to try that.
Okay.
Now, also, if you're here, you can go to meetings and you can see all the meetings that you might be scheduled at. And you can start a meeting, you can copy an invitation, do a whole bunch of stuff. I'll go through this for the host. Okay, so I'm basically, I think I've covered most of the stuff. My suggestion is come open up a Zoom session by yourself and play with it. Right? That's the way you'll learn because I've covered a whole bunch of things. I am recording. I'm going to stop the recording. I will put it up on YouTube later. I'll send Renee and I'll send everybody a link to it, especially all those people that didn't show up.
Quick question, Dennis.
Yeah, go ahead.
It says, I did the background.
Yep.
And I used the Golden Gate Bridge and it was real fuzzy. And it said something about you need a solid background video in order to do that. What does that mean?
I'm not sure. Let me, in the background, sometimes you'll come up and it says you need a green screen.
Yeah.
Okay. A green screen is a physical screen. Okay, it's like a big sheet off a piece of, off a bed that is colored green that physically hangs behind you, or it's a large board painted green. Okay. When you select a video or a image and you have this physical green screen behind you, it shows up a little better. Okay, for example, you have a room behind you now. If you had a physical green screen, whatever you uploaded would look better. It also might be that the particular image you picked just happens not to be a great image. Okay, I don't have a green screen, and yet up here, the tree looks pretty good.
Yeah.
I look blurry, but the tree looks good.
Yeah, when I tried that on my old machine, it just pixelates. So apparently my my video processor isn't enough on an old machine to handle the
That
background.
could be. Yeah, you can see Sue's, that looks pretty sharp all the way.
Yeah.
And I assume Sue doesn't have a green screen behind her.
No,
Okay.
But I will try the green screen and see what happens. That might be.
I like
Do
that.
you have a physical green screen?
No,
I'll try that button on green screen button.
Renee, it only works if you physically have a green screen,
Oh,
a piece of material physically behind you.
oh, I see. Okay.
This is not an optical green screen.
Oh,
It's a physical green screen.
okay.
You sometimes see it. You sometimes see it at TV studios.
Okay.
yeah,
I did it.
difference, isn't it?
Yeah.
Big difference.
You see how mine looks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Looks like
I got my hand up. Dennis.
Yep. Okay, go ahead, Sue.
I have a question. Are we having a meeting on the host?
I
thing?
will be doing a meeting sometime next week on how to become a host. And because it may or may not take more than 40 minutes, I might schedule 2 of them.
Do
Okay.
we go in as co-host? You make us co-host so we can see all the stuff, or can you do that?
No, you can see it without being a co-host. Co-host just has control. You
Yeah.
see all this stuff up here? A
Right.
co-host would have that. Okay.
Yeah.
You're going to be coming into the meeting as a guest, not as a co-host.
Well, I just wanted to know if we would be able to change these things up here.
You'll be able to change it if you start a meeting or if I share the meeting with you.
Okay.
But I don't want you screwing around while I'm talking. Okay. There's only one host at a time, but I can transfer my host to somebody else. I will cease being the host, they take over. Right? This comes up occasionally. Let's say, for example, Dorothy has something on her computer she wants to show everybody. Okay. So I would make her the host. She could then share her screen and present it to everybody. When she's done, she would go back and I'd become the host. Make sense? Okay.
Is there any dangers with that security-wise?
There is, and that's why I set up the waiting list. Okay. It is possible, I understand that if somebody comes in and becomes the host, they can actually do some security violations. So the way I'm stopping this is I've set this up over here. And I didn't do this, but if I come down to security, see the security button at the bottom?
Yeah.
Okay. I can do a lock meeting. That means nobody gets in. The only people that are in are those here. If you left the meeting and you tried to return, you couldn't return. That's the second level of security. Okay. So what I did was I have a list of everybody that was due here. And if your name didn't show up on the list, I would not have authorized you to come out of the waiting room. Well, once the meeting started, I could have gone down here and locked it. But because so many people didn't show up, I decided not to lock it. I wanted to see if anybody came in the waiting room. Anybody else? We're coming up on 58 minutes. It's going to be a long recording.
Okay.
As an aside, you all have recording buttons right at the bottom. I'm going to stop sharing here for a second. Everybody have a recording button? Okay, you can record yourself, all right? But I'll tell you what's going to happen. At the end of the recording, when the meeting's over, the system will come up and it has to convert this recording into another format. And you'll sit there for a while doing the conversion. And then it will store that particular recording somewhere on your computer. Okay. You can usually tell it where you want it stored. However, if you can't find it, do a global search. Go to the search bar and tell them that you want to find something. And it starts out with the word Zoom. That's the beginning of the file name. Okay. Anybody else? My voice is leaving, so I'm about to quit.
Nope.
Nope.
Oh, thank you very much.
Oh,
That was interesting.
you're very welcome. I hope this was a little better than the first time around.
I wasn't there.
Okay.
We got to figure out Sheila's system there. Because last time we had a lot of problems. She had a lot of trouble trying to, some of these buttons didn't show up.
Sheila, can you hear us?
Yes.
Yeah.
Your buttons aren't showing up?
Well, at the beginning of the meeting, when I first came on, it didn't. And then I left the meeting and rejoined, and then I could see everything. So I don't know.
Yeah, it may be just your internet speed was still loading things.
Possibly.
Okay, but it sounds like you're all set now.
And I'll check the update to make sure
Okay.
I've got the
Yeah.
most recent version.
Yeah, the other thing I'll mention, if you go to your own individual picture and you go to the upper right-hand corner, move your cursor there. You should see a little blue box with 3 dots in it. Everyone see it?
Mhm.
Click that little box.
I have a hand thing. I can't do it.
Well, your hand should be on the left side and then the box on the right.
No, okay, now I can, now the,
Okay, you see the box.
yep, I got it.
Okay, if you click it,
I did
okay,
mute my audio, stop video.
yeah, you see that? What you should have is a way to rename yourself. And that's the little name in the lower left-hand corner.
Oh,
Is that only for each individual meeting or?
It's for each individual meeting, you can rename yourself, but if you go to your profile, you can set up a master name
Okay.
that should show up on everything. Okay? We all set?
All set.
Okay, I'm going to say bye. If you have any questions, email me, please.
okay.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank
thanks.
you.
Thanks,
Everybody's
Dennis.
got
Thank
Dennis's
you.
email?
Yeah, you should have it on the invitation.
Yes.
All right,
Okay.
good. Bye. Thanks a lot, Dennis.
Yeah, there will be a host meeting sometime next week. I'm just
Okay.
trying to figure out what I want to say yet. I'll pass it on to Renee. Renee, you can forward it to everybody.
Okay. Nice to see you, John.
Okay.
Nice to see you, Larry.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah, I will send an email out to everybody later today or first thing tomorrow about where the recording is. So those people that weren't here will have an opportunity to view the recording. Okay,
Good.
take care.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.